Good morning. Let's do a quick Q&A. Someone on Tumblr wrote me, and I'm going to paraphrase because I'm not very clued in with Tumblr, and by answering him, saying, I wrote him back saying, I'll answer you in the video. And then the letter disappeared. Note to self, don't do that again. So this is coming from memory. It may not be perfect. But an individual asked me a question that I've gotten many times. It began with an assumption. Are you a tulku? And then there's the second question. Because why do they call you Rinpoche? Or what do you call you Rinpoche? So what's it called? The assumption is that only tulkus are called Rinpoches. Now, a tulku in Tibetan Buddhism is a individual who's recognized as a reincarnated or a reborn Lama or saint. The assumption that Rinpoche is a title, and Rinpoche literally means precious one. And of course, it's tough to say precious one without imagining Gollum from Lord of the Rings saying, my precious, my precious. But enough of that. So the writer was assuming that only tulkus are considered Rinpoches, but that is incorrect. Rinpoche is how you address the senior teacher present. I didn't know this many years ago, and I really committed faux pas by asking questions of every Lama I encountered at every event, and they had to say, no, you only address your questions to the senior teacher present. And I'm not going to say that's good or bad, that's just their culture. And in that culture, you address the senior teacher present as Rinpoche. Liberally, Rinpoche is used for any, you would always address your teacher, like in a letter or in personal one-on-one time, as Rinpoche. It's often attributed to people who have really done the deal, who have accomplished the path. Now, the person who wrote me a letter asked me a second one, who's your teacher? What's your lineage? And you can really hear the aggression coming through his typing. It was really angry typing. But that's a common thing. There are a large number of white tantrikas I've met are very angry. And it's like, wait, you're dressed as a Lama and you call yourself Lama? How do I know you're a Lama? What are your credentials? What's your resume? Prove to me you're worthy of my respect. Well, I don't need your respect. Fuck your respect. Here's what matters to me. Is the teachings, the suttas attributed to Buddha. When we look in the Pali Canon, there's a passage called the Sutta of the Kalimas Dilemma. And I want to share that with you right now. In the Sutta of the Kalimas Dilemma, one morning, Buddha was out doing walking meditation, and he was flagged down by the city fathers of the Kalimas. And in this story, they sounded like Leghorn Foghorn. They said, Buddha, we's in a heap of trouble. Why, every fortnight another Swami blows in, blows up, and he blows out again. They all teach different things. They can only agree on two things. They agree that everyone else is wrong, but they're right. So tell me true, you who claim to be a Buddha, how are we supposed to know which teacher and which teaching to rely upon? Now, you know what they were thinking. They were thinking, Buddha's going to say, everyone else is wrong, but I'm right. Luckily, this was not Buddha's first rodeo. So he told them how they wouldn't know which teacher or which teaching to rely upon. He said, and he gave a long list. I'm going to give you the truncated version. He said, you won't know based on beauty or prestige or fame or wealth. Did you know in many New Thought ministries you can't become a minister unless you can pay $30,000 for the privilege? And they say, yes, it's because if you can't manifest $30,000, how you can teach manifesting to the people in your flock? Now, clearly, I'm not a New Thought minister, but I have dated one. So getting back on. So Buddha said that's not how you know. He also said that that logic won't guide us, intuition won't guide us, and convention won't guide us. And I want to focus on that last one, convention. Convention tells us if you're hiring a personal assistant, you put an ad, you accept applications, you read resumes, you check references and credentials. That's what convention says. And a lot of people do that with their lamas. And some lamas on their websites, they say, these are my teachers, this is my lineage, these are the people who can vouch for me, blah, blah, blah. And even when I was a homeless bhikkhu and I would wander from monastery to monastery, they'd want to call in the monasteries to make sure I wasn't an evil bastard. But that wasn't always the case. 1,000 years ago, they didn't do that. 2,000 years ago, they didn't do that. 26 centuries ago, they didn't do that. This is a new thing. Everyone acting like their own private investigator. But what did the text say on the subject? Buddha said, or the author of the text wrote, that convention won't tell you. It's not a sound indicator of what teacher or what teaching we should rely on. The text explains it's all about causality, cause and effect. So if you want to know if it's someone's a good teacher, whether they're Theravada, Mahayana, or Tantrayana, whether they are Tibetan, Bhutanese, whether they are Mongolian, whether they are Chinese or Japanese or, Vietnamese or Thai or Laotian, or Burmese, or whether they're Sri Lankan, whether they're pasty like myself. How are we supposed to know with which teacher or which teaching to rely upon? Simple. It's easy. Number one, go to an entry-level class. Number two, receive the technique from them. Number three, apply that technique for 1 hour every morning and 1 hour every evening for 7 consecutive days. At the end of the 7 days, notice your results. If you got sucky results, then go find another teacher. But if you got good results, don't be a chump. Come back to that teacher and get more instructions. That's it. So here's the thing, my friends. If we are truly seekers and we really want to grow in the path, then 14 hours of practice to determine the validity, the effectiveness of the teachings is child's play. But if we are lazy and pretentious, if we don't really care about the spiritual path, and all we really care is stroking our own self-importance, then we won't. But some people say, I'm scared. I'm scared the big bad Lama with the bad haircut's going to kill me with his poisonous meditation. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh. Grow the fuck up. Buddha taught you all you need to know about meditation in the Maha Satipatthana Sutta. It's also known as the Greater Discourse upon the 4 Bases of Mindfulness. If you want to learn meditation, the complete path to full enlightenment, read that. It might take you several times. You might have to study it for a month or a year or a decade or 2. But everything you know is in there. And Buddha didn't say, if you do this wrong, you're going to roast your nuts in hell. He didn't. I looked. It's not there. So, no excuses. You can't meditate wrong. You might not get the results you like, but you're not going to go to Vajra hell if there even is such a place. So no more malarkey. If you want to learn the path, then read the text. We live in a great society where you can get texts translated into English for free on your computer as a PDF. Wow, how cool is that? If you don't want to spend months or years or decades poring over an admittedly ungainly text, then find someone to help you. Receive their teachings, apply their teachings, notice the results. It's just that simple. Now, if you have a good heart and you are enthusiastic to learn how to meditate, to receive meditations, benefits, and master the mindfulness and insight and love the Buddha called enlightenment, there are plenty of teachers to help you. I'll help you. It's easy. But if you're most interested in nurturing your fear and your self-importance, you'll have to play with someone else. Homie, don't play that. And that, my friends, is all you get. About an inch below this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, there's a button that reads Show More. When you click it, you'll get a bunch of links to a bunch of free resources, including my next series of classes, which are free thanks to the kindness and generosity of my patrons. If you want to become a patron, you can for as little as $1 a month, but you don't have to. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Bye-bye now.